G'day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan battle video. So in this video we are going to take a look at the Frieza first form EZA that's recently been added to DBZ Dokkan Battle Global as part of the worldwide celebration campaign. So as with most Extreme Z battles, this cannot have any continues, and the super effective categories are the Super In type and the Legendary Existence category. You will receive 30 Dragon Stones, one for each stage, along with some TEQ Grand Kais that you can use to awaken Frieza's super attack potential. Frieza himself changes to an attack and defense 110% with ki +3 plus an additional attack of 10% and defense of 40% when attacking superclass enemies. He recovers 11% HP at the start of turn and he transforms each turn. Up until his final stage he will stack attack and defense, and in his final stage he will be 150% attack and defense with ki +3 plus an additional attack of 50%. He will regain 15% HP and he will perform a critical hit once. He will then have a high chance of stunning the enemy and will have a 1-turn attack and defense boost. So as we can see here, it's pretty straightforward. AGL tech into everyone is still pretty much effective at this first stage. We will go and use the LR Goku, the new LR Goku, as our main alternate lead. He's going to be the one you're going to want to take. He can pretty much solo this entire event, so it's really easy and straightforward as long as you take Goku. Then what we're going to do is we're going to build around him a Super Saiyan / Legendary Existence team. So the Legendary Existence category is a pretty strange category right now. But it does have a couple MUI Gokus, and a #1 alternative for this team is that MUI Goku that recently got his EZA with the global anniversary, so you can use that unit as well. This free-to-play Super Saiyan Goku from the Battle of the Gods movie is also a solid tanking option that you can use if you are looking for some free-to-play alternatives to help out. So that being said, our team is going to be led by the Int Gogeta, who is a 130% all Int type lead, and we're going to slot in some units around them. Obviously, one thing we're going to struggle with is finding a whole bunch of Super Saiyans, so you're going to want to try and pull as many of those as you can. I'm going to be using the Ghost Tanks, and I'm going to be using the Trunks, because I think those are going to be two viable options. You can't use something like the free-to-play Int Goku because he unfortunately does not fall under the Legendary Existence or Super Saiyan team. So you're going to have to be careful about using units like that because they're not really able to be utilized unless you're running double Gogeta leads. But that's not really advisable, as like I said, Goku can pretty much solo the entire event, so you definitely want to take Goku and just kind of put them under any reciprocal lead you can. Units like this Kale are Super Saiyan 2, so you just need to be careful that you are only taking Super Saiyan units. Other than that, you can pretty much take whatever you need to fill out the category. I am just taking units I think most people will have and trying to incorporate as many free-to-play units as you can. Good alternatives if you don't have Gogeta as a lead is to run the MUI Goku as a lead, being a Realm of Gods and a N-type 1T EZAs. But as you can see, we have Goku here. Your main priority is to get Goku in the first turn and put him in the first slot if Frieza is attacking first. Goku has guaranteed critical hits against Frieza, which makes his damage towards him absolutely mental. As you can see, one-shotting the first stage. Now that may not be the most impressive thing. Obviously the first stage of Extreme Z areas are not necessarily, Extreme Z battles are not necessarily the hardest content. However, Frieza over here is definitely going to get his ass handed to him by Goku. So here we're at stage 10. You can see Frieza is immune to stunning and reduction of defense, but not much more has changed in terms of his difficulty. We're going to be running the exact same team, and in terms of missions, obviously there is completing it at stage 10 or higher and 20 or higher under a certain time limit, and of course finishing a stage at 20 or higher with at least one legendary existence category unit. You cannot have your friend leave count. So we're fortunate because we have the Realm of the Gods Goku who's going to count as ours. Otherwise we are just going to keep trucking on with this team, relying entirely on Goku for damage. So when you don't get Goku, you basically just need to make sure that you don't die. These units start to take quite a intense amount of damage, unfortunately, at certain points. So it is something that may require 1 or 2 retries if you get really unlucky and get Goku locked to the 7th slot, which means you'll only arrive in turn 3. Other than that, the healing from the ghost tanks does come in handy, and the units still do decent damage the entire way throughout. Trunks himself does a actual decent job, and being able to reduce the attack of the unit still helps you up to a certain point. The MUI Goku acts as a second tank, so he does help us, and his transformation comes in handy, especially when Frieza gets us low on health. But as you can see, Goku here is going to be the main source of damage, with his constant critting being the easiest way to clear the event, and making sure that you put him in the first slot if Frieza is attacking before he attacks to trigger the additional super attack. If you cannot, put him in the second or third slot, so that he has that chance of firing off that additional super attack. Now we'll move to stage 20, which will happen with the power of editing. There we go, we've moved to stage 20. You'll notice that there has not been that many changes. Obviously we're still going with the exact same team. Solid alternatives do include the MUI Goku. And if we go to battle info, we can see here that he is now immune to sealing as well, and does gain certain type reductions, so only Super Tech, Super Int, Super Strength and Super Physical are effective against him at this point, which is something we have to keep in mind. Of course, we are going to be able to ensure that Goku is performing some really solid damage, so that is a saving grace at all points. Goku will always do a lot of damage. If you can, try and get a Goku with a couple dupes. That's really just going to help him improve his damage output and obviously keep everything okay. Getting his 24 key really helps as well, but both of his attacks have the Colossal modifier, so it's not really that big an issue. As you can see, Goku is going to just clean up Frieza big time. All this big damage, the fact that he is basically guaranteed to crit against Frieza means that he cannot, I don't think there is another unit that can outdo this kind of damage in this event, which means taking him as a friend lead is the obvious choice. As long as you have him running between 100 and 130% lead on the other end, you can take pretty much any other unit that you need. Because strength type remains effective the whole way through, you can take the strength Planet Namek Goku if you want. He will be a solid option. Otherwise you can just take any other kind of lead. As long as Goku falls under that category, you should be fine to go. Go Bros should be a suitable replacement lead as well. They just might take a little bit of damage, so this is something that you want to keep your eyes out for. As you can see, not really struggling at all, and stage 20 was cleared quite easily through the power of Goku. So that's it for stage 20. Obviously now we're going to move on to stage 30, which should be a bit tougher, but it shouldn't be too much harder. Tech, Int, Strength and Physical are no longer effective. The only types are Super Tech, Super Int, Super Strength and Super Physical, so there's quite a lot of typings to choose from. But obviously you want to keep it Int as much as possible, unless you're going for a full legendary existence team. So in terms of the team, obviously we're going to rock a LR Super Saiyan Planet Namek Goku as our friend, and he should be able to carry most of the offensive burden. Obviously stage 30 is a little bit tough, so just be wary about it, especially if you don't have at least MUI Goku or another legendary existence unit to soak up some of the damage. You are going to struggle a tiny bit with this. Obviously again we have the ghost tanks, and of course we have the Super Saiyan Realm of the Gods Goku. He actually has tanked really well throughout my attempts of this event. So if you are looking for a free-to-play unit that I really highly suggest, I would definitely suggest that Super Saiyan Goku from the Battle of the Gods movie. He is really quite impressive. He does a really good job. But yeah, beyond those things and keeping these kind of units out of the way, the Goku really does most of the work. Yeah, I didn't even put orbs in this Goku here, so you can definitely improve his abilities quite a bit. But you see, he doesn't take that much damage. I mean, he took 21,000, but watch, he won't take a lot from the super attack. Only 65k, so really not too bad. And then we have the Goku here, who's going to do all of the offensive work. So really you only need that Goku to kind of hold out, and you just need to be able to avoid a couple attacks, and then Goku will be able to wrap everything up. So like I say, as long as you put Goku in the first slot and he gets attacked before he attacks, he'll fire off 2 attacks, and those will do massive damage. So yeah, it's just really big for Goku. As you can see, he's going to crit, and then he's going to fire off another attack and crit on that one as well. These guaranteed crits, so really just why he does so much damage, and especially in this event. So yeah. But you can see we'll be able to wrap it up with our Gogeta. So all's well that ends well. Stage 30 cleaned up pretty smoothly. Like I said, just focus on getting those units and just try and keep your units like Ghost Tanks, Trunks and Gogeta out of the way, and you should be more than fine. And that's it, easy peasy, level 30 done, and that is the Easy A completed. So as you can see, pretty straightforward. If you have legendary Goku yourself, you could probably very easily farm this stage for money. I think this is definitely a stage that you can probably farm for money quite easily. So if you are looking for a way to make some Zeni, and you have the new LR Int Planetnamic Super Saiyan Goku, then you are definitely more than able to farm this event. Like I said, in terms of alternatives for this team, it just depends on what kind of leads you have, but generally you want to obviously look for legendary existence units, because we know that physical strength, tech and int are all still viable types. There are a couple units that you could use. You could use units like the Kid Buu int, you can use units like the LR God Goku, and you can also use units like the Broly. So that's definitely something that you could do. Obviously a good second alternative lead, like I suggested, is this MUI Goku. Once he is Easy Aid, he does indeed have a int typing sub lead, so you can definitely still use him if you want to. But like I said, there are plenty of options under the Legendary Existence tab, so if you have a Goku for yourself, your life is pretty easy. Other than that, yeah, pretty much the only thing left to do is for you to awaken your Frieza. But that's going to be it from me, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, I'll see you guys next time. But until then, cheers, stay safe, and bye!